You brought a lot of quality players to Kotoko. And what was the trick? I spoke to Stephen Oduro in America, and he told me about how you whisked him away from goalfields. And it was funny. He said he walked to his father and said, you know what, get me your son. He's going to play for Kotoko. At the time, he had gone to take money from goalfields. How were you doing it? Getting all the quality players to Kotoko?
First and foremost, you create an image. Secondly, Kotoko had spent 10 years with Ash Gold and everybody taking Kotoko players. Georgido had taken the team to Sweden All Blacks, Edmund Cobson, Yao Sechi, and them had gone to Hearts of Oak. No paperwork, no documentation evident for me to see anyway. And now Stephen Oduro was this maestro sitting in Tamale. So we also went to bed. And as far as we knew, he came to us. Next thing we knew, he was in Ash Gold. The matter we went to Otumfuo, it was very heavy duty. So we had to, you need to sometimes stick your chest out, get out there, and try and get him, Michael Osei, and all the others convinced about the great Baba Amando and the rest to come to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Nana Hindua was difficult. Mark Fish came, had disciplinary problems, but it was now time for Kotoko to frighten the world. There was no more we against E.T. Mensah and players being taken to hearts because E.T. had the political and financial might. There was no more fear of Sanjona that his pockets were deeper than that of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. There were no committees to go to say, where do you raise the money? If we needed to raise money, we raised the money, paid the price, and took the players.
Who was your favorite signing?
What a difficult question. What an absolute difficult question. You know, there were so many, and there were players within Kotoko who we could not have succeeded without. Some like Godwin Ablode. Champion may not have been the best number 8 in the country, but every team needs a champion. You see, there's a link between ownership, playing body. In Kotoko, the ownership is Otumfuo. But then you are there as the chairman, the president, whatever title you want to give. You then come down into the technical team, administrative staff, office staff, playing bodies, and there's always a disconnect. Playing bodies, problem, injuries, money, disagreements, whatever it may be. Champion operated like a general manager.
Not just like a player.
No. He operated like a general manager. So he knew what we were doing. He knew when we were having difficulties. He was able to communicate where there were players having, because players are complicated people, you know, with difficulties that you don't even know are difficulties until it becomes a bigger problem. And for me, that was champion. So he could also convey your spirit in terms of the urgency, in terms of other related matters. And that's what made him more special than most of the other players.
Of all the deals you had with the players, bringing them to Kotoko, which one was the most difficult?
That worked was probably Stephen Oduro's, because we ended up in arbitration in front of Otumfuo, and it was backwards forwards, and it was Sam Jonah, you know, whatever. So that was a big one. There are others who...
Then you went to Otumfuo at the time?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Tiko.
Yeah.
What was it about Hebert Mensah? So charismatic, so much so that even after losing 4-0 the next game, the stadium was filled to capacity.
I don't know, it's not for me to say, but the only thing I say to people is that if you really want to be a successful chairman of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, you need to be able to win off the field. You don't play the ball. So the structures you put in off the field have got to work. And then you've got to behave. I always say, if there's a flame, you must be able to put your hand into the fire. People are watching you and feel no pain. That gives them the courage to go through the same fire. In my day, it was taking on the FA. It was taking on E.T. Mensah. it was going to Brekum and taking on people who were throwing bombs at us on the field.
You were in charge when Shapiro slapped Medendorf, right? Coach,
in Nkoko.
Mm-hmm.
In Nkoko.
Yes.
Okwo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what happened?
It was mainly just chaos there. And I know at the time, something happened. There was a guy misbehaving that we went to grab him. He was holding a gun at the park. When I turned around, that slap had occurred. But Kotoko, you can't slap somebody and get away with it. So we went to the disciplinary committee. You may have heard. And so I went with Middendorf to the disciplinary committee. And Sapon was there. We were sitting there. Suddenly, some tough guys appeared at the LOC, the GFA. At that time, it was at the stadium side. And
yes, where
yeah,
it's been turned to a clinic now.
Yes. Yeah. And we were going in front of, I think, Ezi. I think he's passed now. These three hoodlums came out. The beatings they gave Sapon there before the disciplinary meeting.
Really?
Yeah. Got into the taxi and drove away. You see, so it's a different protocol now than from then.
Well, was it pre-arranged?
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about such a...
That's one of the reasons why we visit. But it's a mafia of a chairman.
I wouldn't know. But I know before we played Hearts of Oak in the JOT Ajiman Cup in Kumasi, the score was 0-0. Before the match started, Hearts of Oak were driving into the stadium and E.T. Mensah was on the bus.
Wow.
Was on the Hearts of Oak bus. And they said because of Juju, they didn't want to enter through one gate. They wanted to enter through the exit gate. So the soldiers, military soldiers, stopped the bus. And E.T. was saying, as the minister, they should open the gate. And the soldiers refused. They came to me up in VIP to say that the minister is in the bus. He's asking whether he should be able to enter.
Oh, wow.
So I said no. So he was asked to descend from the bus and walk into the stadium.
Were the soldiers Kotoko fans?
No, but the brand Kotoko was just too big. The brand Kotoko was chaos. It was big.
You two were very angry then.
I loved E.T. Mensah. I really did. I had fights with him every other week. I mean, horrible fights. Sometimes I think Komla Dumont would instigate it by calling him and then calling me. You see that thing that they do.
Hold on. But Mensah is on the other line.
Oh. And with youth, I just talk rubbish. One day, I just talked so much rubbish. After the show, E.T. picked up the phone and called me. He said, hey, what's the matter with you? I said, oh, honorable. He said, stop that. You're out of order. Come and see me now. So I drove to the ministry, sat down with E.T. Then he came in, he looked at me, he's shaking his head. Then he sat down, we spoke about everything apart from what happened at the radio station that morning.